Good morning, I'm Neva Reddy Manu, and this is your morning news fix for Monday, 4th of March. In this update, health campaigners are blasting the appointment of David Seymour to oversee the country's free school lunch program in his capacity as Associate Education Minister. The ACT leader has described it in the past as wasteful public spending and has argued it should be cut. Labor launched the initiative in 2019, which has been allocated $160 million a year to operate and feeds about 220,000 students nationwide. It isn't funded past this year. Health Coalition Aotearoa co-chair Professor Boyd Swinburne says they've reached out to Seymour in an effort to keep it running.
It's clear to me from all the research we've done on the impact of the program that it has multiple benefits.
Calls for a bipartisan agreement over repairs to Premier House. A report into the residence outlines 30-year-old fittings, a lack of insulation and unsealed windows. It's understood the cost of recommended work for Premier House and its grounds is about $30 million. Political commentator Grant Duncan says we need to bring it up to scratch, but we don't want to turn it into a political football.
Political parties are going to be very conscious of the possibility of a populist backlash and a sort of taxpayer resentment about the expenditure of money, but we have to face up to the fact that it needs to be done properly.
The Prime Minister says he's unable to live there due to the maintenance works needed. Christopher Luxon's been living in his own apartment in the capital and receiving the accommodation allowance. On Friday, he flip-flopped, saying he'll pay the thousands back. He'd earlier described it as an entitlement. A fresh push to reconsider how we fund GPs. More than 400 members of the College of GPs took part in a 2-week diary study, which found clinical contact time took up about 56% of their time and paperwork 31%. Medical Director Luke Bradford says to make themselves available to see more patients, many are pushing the paperwork into evenings and weekends, but he says that's work they're not paid for. Outrage from student journalists after their access to Parliament's been scuttled by the Speaker. The Aotearoa Student Press Association's Parliamentary Press Gallery membership was withdrawn by Jerry Brownlee amid a review of who has swipe card access to Parliament. Victoria University's Salient magazine editor Phoebe Robertson says revoking the press pass takes away their access to politicians.
It just feels really disrespectful. We have held this pass for years and our journalists are here because they want careers in journalism.
Jerry Brownlee is standing by his decision. He says student journalists don't come to Parliament often enough to warrant a swipe card. Dunedin's getting ready to paint the town pink in preparation for Pink's one-off show. The US pop star is playing to more than 32,000 people during her Forsyth Bar Stadium concert tomorrow night. In sport, high jumper Hamish Kerr has become the third New Zealander to win a gold medal at a World Indoor Athletics Champs, with victory in Glasgow in a world lead effort of 2.36 metres. An allegation of racism has overshadowed the NRL's season start in Las Vegas. Brisbane playmaker Ezra Mam has told officials he's adamant Sydney Roosters prop Spencer Leniu racially abused him during their 2010 loss. And Kiwi ski racer Alice Robinson has finished in 9th at the latest Super G World Cup event in Norway overnight. I'm Neva Reddy Manu. That's your latest news fix. We'll be back with the next update at midday from the Newstalk ZB newsroom.